Fall is a special time of year on the Oregon coast. For anglers, it spells fishing opportunity as rivers fill with salmon fresh from the ocean. It is a complex of wildlife, changing weather, and scenery that defies description. But salmon are the draw, with Chinook and Coho both well represented. Join me, Trey Carskadon, for a very special show with Pro-Guide John Krauthofer. John's a man of tremendous skill and experience whose unique style seems to reflect the character of this wonderful setting. We'll explore the fine points of catching Oregon's coastal salmon as we take in a splendor that is truly singular in its beauty and majesty, and you'll see it here in this week's edition of America's Outdoor Journal.
America's Outdoor Journal, brought to you by Guard Sports, Oshman's, and Sport Mart, where your next outdoor adventure begins.
Don't worry about the spin of your herring. It's spinning just perfect.
Oh, that's great. Then just drop down on the bottom.
Let her down, hit the bottom, slowly. Bounce it a couple times to where you're sure that it's the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Then
reel it up about 2 cranks.
there we go.
You want to leave it in the rod holder until line's coming off the reel. And there he is. You've got one biting. There you go. There you go. Let him eat it. We'll see what we've got here.
Well, we certainly have worked hard for this fish, John.
We'll see what we've got.
Now, the rule on Coho here, can we keep them in this area?
If they're a fin-clipped hatchery Coho, we can keep them. What do we got?
It feels
now,
a lot
it could be a
Coho.
Chinook that's still half asleep. No, it's a little Jack Chinook.
Can we keep these?
Oh, you can, but we'll turn him loose.
Okay.
We'll turn him loose. Little Jack Chinook. That's about a 5-pound little Chinook.
Well, that's a little football, though. That's
boy, they're really good eating, but we'll let him go. Let somebody else catch him again. We'll find a bigger one here as this tide comes in. There'll be more and they'll be bigger, but that's a start.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. We didn't miss it.
Yeah.
And that's the way you want to do it. Leave it in the rod holder until it's locked down tight. Pick it up in a gentle hook set and you got it.
Remember, products we use in the show are available at Guard Sports, Oshman's, and Sport Mart.
You just had one. You just had to go down. Some grabbed it.
Really?
I'm serious. Some grabbed it.
I think he's hung up.
Oh, there it is.
There's a bite. There's a bite.
From the front end. Oh, yeah. I'm going to loosen up on this guy.
Yeah.
All right. This is a beautiful fish. He's really,
I like the way that you waited in the pole holder till the fish had it good. Bounced it 2 or 3 times.
Got a good teacher.
Beautiful little fish.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like about 20 pounds.
And it is just absolutely as fresh as it is long.
I mean, it came in with the tide. This fish was in the ocean probably an hour ago. Now, if we can put him in the sack, we'll...
I think it's going to happen, John. Yes.
All
right. Yes.
Finally.
Wow.
Finally. A nice little chrome bright.
They don't get any better than that.
19-pound buck.
Yep.
No, perfect.
Look at that. Wow.
Absolutely perfect.
That is great. Oh.
Now we'll go see if we can find another one.
Well, time's a wasting.
Time's a wasting, and we're right in the optimum time, right here at high water. This one might be a good one.
Well, geez, then it must be mine.
Yeah. Oh, come on, baby.
Keep up with him.
Oh, he's right here. There he goes. It's a big, heavy.
Oh, wow.
If it is a big coho, it's a
dandy.
It's a monster.
Oh, look at him go.
Oh, he's
just going nuts.
yes, sirree. It's a big native buck coho. Isn't that a pretty one?
That is a gorgeous fish.
Now you can see how people would think that something this size would actually be a
That's a big
Chinook.
big silver. Here
I
you
don't
go.
like the net. And where he's stuck, I'm just going to cut him loose. He's not bleeding at all, so when we get him up here, let me try to get a hold of him.
Okay. Now that's the indication right there.
That's the indicator right there, the big adipose fin. He's got one hook deep, and he'll be just fine. Whoops!
And he's gone.
And he's gone.
Nice going. And he's in great shape. But when things happen in this fishery, they happen fast.
They happen real fast. We're right on high tide, so what we need to do is get our gear back in the water.
We can do that. I think my bait's all ready to fish.
I'm going to move back out into the channel, and we'll get another pole back in the water.
You want it?
Teresa, pick up the phone. We've got a fish on here. Calling home to let her know what.
Oh my gosh, look at it
it's
go.
a great big one.
It's a nice one.
Hi, I gotta go. We got a fish on here. Bye.
That's a nice one. Did you see it come out of the water?
Oh, I did. It was a great one. I was just calling to let the home front know what time we were going to be home, and I got the pole in my hand, and I got a fish.
Boy, it's coming
biting.
right over this way. Well, it looks to me like the bite's on.
Well, there's a few around here at high tide, just as we thought. Oh, this one's we'll see if this is a big native. We'll get it up here. Come here.
He's hooked.
He's been hooked by a commercial guy, so we're going to release him just by flipping the hook right out of his mouth. Gone.
Wow!
Now we can just find another big Chinook, but this tide has obviously brought some more fish in. So I think they're right on schedule.
Can we do more of those?
I think so. I think I've got another hook or two. We can. If I was a local and actually lived here and was just going to come out and fish for a few hours of the day, you're going to come out and fish low slack, and you're going to come out and fish high slack. There's a bite. There he is.
Okay. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, John.
It's another great big coho, but
Good job.
this is another 15, 16 pounder. We'll play him easy so we don't hurt him, and we'll get him up here and we'll turn him loose. Look at him. No, he's swallowed it, so I think we're just gonna clip him off.
Okay.
We'll get him up here close again. Get a hold of this leader if you can. There, you got it. Got it?
Got the ball.
He's gone.
Okay.
Nice release.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That all worked out great.
Yeah, perfect.
Good job.
Another one.
See, it's luck when it only happens once in a while. They say good luck. I said, no. It's good skill. It's more. I'm with John Krauthofer.
Oh, we've had fun. It makes your day.
That one's there for live.
It'll go up and make more babies, and 2 years, 3 years from now, there'll be more of them coming back. And I think maybe we can get the federal people to relax a little bit, and things aren't quite as gloom as what we thought. I think Mother Nature's going to be the biggest thing. she's turned that ocean around to where they've got feed, and you've seen the size of these fish. I mean, they're just beautiful, healthy, and everything's going to be fine.
Think there's any more bites left in this stretch of water?
I'm sure there is. We're coming right into slack tide period, so we can try it for a while longer if you want.
You bet.
You bet. Let's see if we can find another one.
Fresh bait?
Remember, products we use in the show are available at Guard Sports, Oshman's, and Sport Mart.
John, what's the trick to consistently catching fish, kings and silvers, down here on the Oregon coast using herring?
Trey, number one is there are no real tricks. It's just working hard at it. I guess we can start with a rod and the reel and the line, the hooks, and then we'll cover the bait in a minute. You want to use a good quality line, 25 to 40 pound test. They're not really leader size, so you can use heavier line if you want. A good quality reel with a good quality drag, so that when that fish runs, everything works well. You come out here and you spend all day for that bite. You don't want a reel to blow up on you, or you don't want your line to break. So you want to change your line every year. Start the year with fresh line. I use good quality hooks, about a 6/0. 5/0 will work, but if you're using large herring, you want to use a bigger hook. I use a 6/0 hook. You want to use a leader, and leader length, people think longer leaders are better. Well, I guess you might say it's going to give your herring a little more action, but since really the action of the herring isn't that big of a factor, leader length is more judged by the length of your rod. You don't want to use a 6-foot rod and a 10-foot leader. Right. Because when you get the fish up to the boat, you can't get them in the net. These are 9-foot rods, and I'm running about an 8-foot leader. If you want to put a good quality bead chain in the center of your leader, about halfway between your hooks and your top swivel, 5-6 ounces of lead if you're in the bays. You don't need to have your lines 200 yards behind you because you're going to be fishing in a big fleet of boats. Keep the lines close to the boat. 45-degree angle is just about right. And lots of swivels. Now these swivels will plug up with grass, so you have to be checking your gear all the time. I see people
plug up with grass, what happens?
Well, because your herring is spinning all the time, if you don't have something to take the twist out of the line, everything will come up in a big ball.
John, this weight setup here is kind of unique too. How important is that to your fishing system?
Well, what I use, Trey, is it's just a standard back bouncing setup. You have your top swivel, a two-way swivel, and then I have another two-way swivel that slides up and down the line with a bead is just a cushion. It cushions this swivel from sliding down and ruining your knot down here. The reason I use a sliding lead line, and that is getting the fish up close to the boat and ending up with this lead in the net. With a sliding lead line, the lead gets in the net, no problem. The fish can still run. This gives you plenty of time to get your lead out of the net and bring the fish back to the boat and net him.
Now, how important is the length of this lead line?
It really isn't that critical. I use about a 30-inch lead line. That's not important because what you're going to do is you're going to let it down, hit the bottom, you're going to bring it up about 2 or 3 cranks on a normal reel. These fish, because this is kind of a muddy, sandy type of a bottom, they're not going to lay with their bellies right in the mud. They're going to be up 2 or 3 feet off the bottom. And as you know, a salmon doesn't see down real well, so you want to keep that bait even with them or just a little above them.
And that's exactly what you had me do, is drop to the bottom and reel up 2
or 3 cranks. Exactly.
And it paid off extremely well.
It sure did. It sure did. It's worked several times here.
Now, as far as the herring goes, I've watched you do that, and there's a lot of guys down here that use these things called plug cutters.
What I use is I just take an old piece of 1x4. As you can tell, it's well used, and you take you a quality herring.
So now 1x4, so can you use a 2x4?
Sure. Well, you could use a 2x4, a 2x8, or a 8x8 if you wanted to carry one. But a little piece of 1x4 works just as good. Like I said, the roll of the herring isn't that critical, in my opinion. It's just have a good fresh bait down there that flashes. And I can show you here on these herring real quick before I cut them. This herring here, if you look at it in the sunshine, it's got all the scales on it. It's a perfect looking natural bait. Versus you look at this herring here and most of the scales are gone. And the scale on a herring is nothing more than a prism. Just reflects the light. So if I open a package of herring and I see this one, it goes overboard. Don't waste your time putting it on. Thaw them out, put a little rock salt in with your water so that it helps sets the scales. The scales will stay on better. And then when you go to cut them, I just lay the herring down, moisten the board so the board's wet, so the scales don't stick to the board. And just take the head off the herring. What you want to do is just cut it so that you have a beveled angle. It's real simple. Then what I do is I take the blade of the knife, I just reach in and take the insides out of the herring, which forms a little bit of a pocket. Then what you do is you just take your hooks, and so you can tell this herring is nice and fresh, and all the scales are on it and everything. It's got a little bit of blood coming out of it. You reach in, you have a high side of your bevel and a low side of your bevel. Just reach in the body cavity with your bottom hook, poke it through, pull it through.
Side?
On the low side. Reach in with your top hook, put it in the body cavity right alongside of the backbone. On the low side again.
I hear an awful lot about it, and how important is getting the proper roll and the proper cut to the herring. Is that as big a deal as people might think it is?
It really isn't, Trey. You know, you're wasting time if you worry about it's got to roll big or small or tight or fast or slow.
It's the easiest way to
just
catch
get
fish.
it to spin, put it down in the zone where the fish are at, keep it fresh, keep it clean, and your rod's going to fold over. What I'm going to show you is we're at anchor right now, so we're not trolling, but I can move the rod forward and show you that this herring is going to spin.
Sure.
So all we'll do is we'll just set it in the water. We're at almost a slack tide right now, and I'll just pull it and look at it. And I'm pulling it very slow. Look at that. Flash, 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 flash. That's all that salmon is going to see, is that herring just spinning.
Oh.
There's no big roll, no fancy
If I was a fish, I'd eat
wounded
that.
herring. It's just the flash, flash, flash. You know, most people want to jerk too quick.
Right.
If you're using artificial bait, you want to hit them right now. But if you're using a natural bait, like a herring, you want to let him chew on it a little bit. And pretty soon he's going to swallow that bait, and he's going to go, oh no, there's something sharp and hard in that herring, and he's going to go to take off. The minute he takes off, the rod's going to fold over, and he's going to be hooking himself. That gives you plenty of time to pick the rod up out of the holder, a gentle hook set. It's called steaks on the table. Okay? There he is, there he is. Go ahead and get him, go ahead and get him. Got him.
Oh, good.
Got him. Good deal. Boy, this has been quite a day of fishing here.
He's taking some line, John.
Oh, good. We'll see what we've got. Hopefully it'll be a nice king. We'll see what happens here.
He's fighting like that, King.
Good.
But I hate speculating.
We don't know.
I've been wrong more than once.
Well, he hadn't jumped yet, so. You know, we saw a bunch of fish rolling down here in the shallow water, and no other boats down here, so it's kind of a place you might want to think about getting to.
Remember, products we use in the show are available at Guard Sports, Oshman's, and Sport Mart.
Wow! We got a great one. Yeah. I said, John, 15 more minutes.
15
Can
more
we afford
minutes.
15 more minutes?
A nice, beautiful Nehalem Chinook. Just a gorgeous fish. Long-tail sea lice all over it there. This fish was in the ocean just probably 2 hours ago. That will eat so well.
Dinner's at the Carskadons.
There you go. People think the Oregon coast in the fall, the first thing they think of is Tillamook Bay. Tillamook Bay is a great fishery, but there are other places that you can catch them too. So,
John, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is wonderful.
it's been a pleasure.
Oh,
It
boy,
really has.
my pleasure's really been all mine.